1900 Galveston Hurricane, USA. The Galveston Hurricane of 1900 remains the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. A Category 4 hurricane hit the island city of Galveston, Texas, with little warning. The storm brought a massive storm surge that overwhelmed the city, which was at sea level, leading to great destruction and approximately 6,000 to 12,000 deaths. The tragedy led to major changes in storm preparedness, including the construction of a sea wall and the raising of the elevation of the island to protect it from future storms. 1959 Typhoon Vera, Japan. Typhoon Vera, also known as the Ice-1 typhoon, struck Japan in 1959 and is remembered as the deadliest typhoon in Japanese history. It brought extremely strong winds and heavy rainfall that caused widespread flooding and destruction. The typhoon hit the densely populated ISE Bay Area, leading to over 5,098 deaths and leaving thousands homeless. The damage was extensive, with a significant impact on Japan's economy and infrastructure. The disaster prompted Japan to improve its disaster preparedness, including better flood defenses and more effective early warning systems. Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love. (1931 China floods). The 1931 China floods are considered some of the deadliest natural disasters ever recorded, with death toll estimates ranging from 1 million to 4 million people. These floods affected the central part of China, particularly along the Yangtze, Yellow, and Huai rivers. Unusually heavy snowmelt followed by heavy spring rains caused these rivers to overflow their banks. The floods inundated millions of square kilometers, affecting millions of people who lived in these fertile floodplains. The disaster highlighted the need for improved flood control measures, which led to later efforts to manage river flows and protect communities. 1887 Yellow River Flood, China. The Yellow River, known as China's Sorrow, has a long history of flooding. The 1887 flood was one of the most catastrophic, with estimates of 900,000 to 2 million deaths. The river broke through its dikes in Hunan province, flooding vast areas of farmland and villages. The flood caused an immense humanitarian disaster, with a loss of life and widespread displacement. This event is a stark reminder of the destructive power of river floods and the importance of robust and well-maintained flood defenses. 1998 Yangtze River floods, China. In 1998, the Yangtze River in China experienced one of the worst floods in recent decades. Persistent and heavy rains caused severe flooding along the river, affecting millions of people. Over 3,700 people died, and millions were left homeless. The floods also caused significant economic damage, disrupting agriculture and destroying infrastructure. The disaster led to increased efforts in flood management and control, including the controversial construction of the Three Gorges Dam, which was partly justified as a means to control future floods. 2010 Pakistan floods. In 2010, unusually heavy monsoon rains led to catastrophic flooding across Pakistan, affecting 20 million people and covering 1/5 of the country's land area at its peak. The floods caused nearly 2,000 deaths and left millions homeless, with vast swaths of agricultural land, homes, and infrastructure destroyed. The scale of the disaster strained the response efforts of the Pakistani government and international agencies. The floods highlighted the challenges of disaster management in developing countries and the need for better planning and infrastructure to handle such extreme weather events. 1953 North Sea flood, Netherlands. Was a major disaster that affected the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and Belgium. A powerful storm pushed a storm surge into the North Sea, causing sea defenses to fail during the night. In the Netherlands, over 1,800 people died, and thousands of homes and large areas of farmland were flooded. The disaster prompted the Dutch government to develop the Delta Works, an extensive series of dams, sluices, locks, dikes, and storm surge barriers, designed to protect the country from future sea surges. 1985 Mexico City Earthquake. On September 19, 1985, a powerful earthquake struck Mexico City, one of the world's largest cities. The earthquake had a magnitude of 8.1, causing severe damage due to the city being built on an old lakebed, which amplifies seismic waves. The disaster resulted in the death of at least 10,000 people, though some estimates suggest the number might be as high as 30,000. Tens of thousands were injured, and many buildings, including hospitals, schools, and housing complexes, were destroyed or severely damaged. This tragedy highlighted the critical need for earthquake-resistant construction, especially in areas prone to seismic activity. It led to significant changes in building codes and enhanced disaster preparedness and response strategies in Mexico. 1994 Northridge Earthquake, USA. The Northridge Earthquake occurred on January 17, 1994, in the San Fernando Valley region of Los Angeles, California. With a magnitude of 6.7, it caused widespread destruction to infrastructure, including freeways, buildings, and homes. The earthquake led to 57 deaths and over 8,700 injuries. The economic cost was enormous, estimated at over $20 billion, making it one of the costliest natural disasters in U.S. history. This event spurred a re-evaluation of earthquake standards and building codes in California, particularly concerning the construction of freeways and bridges to withstand future quakes. 2011 Christchurch Earthquake, New Zealand. On February 22, 2011, a devastating earthquake struck Christchurch, New Zealand. This 6.3 magnitude quake was actually an aftershock of an earlier quake that had occurred in September 2010 but was far more destructive. It resulted in the deaths of 185 people and caused significant damage to the city, including many heritage buildings. The earthquake demonstrated the vulnerability of even well-prepared societies to natural disasters and led to a nationwide reassessment of building codes and earthquake resilience strategies. The recovery and rebuilding efforts emphasized improving the robustness of buildings and infrastructure to withstand future seismic events. 2004 Bam Earthquake, Iran. On December 26, 2004, the ancient city of Bam in Iran was hit by a devastating earthquake, measuring 6.6 on the Richter scale. The quake almost completely destroyed the city, including the historic Bam Citadel, and resulted in the deaths of approximately 26,000 people. The extensive damage was largely due to the mud brick construction common in the area, which is susceptible to collapse during quakes. The disaster underscored the need for earthquake-resistant building practices in regions with similar architectural styles and geological risks. 1974 Bangladesh Cyclone. The 1974 Bangladesh Cyclone, also known as the Chittagong Cyclone, struck Bangladesh on November 13, 1974. It was a devastating tropical cyclone that resulted in a massive death toll of about 500,000 people. The cyclone brought high winds and a severe storm surge that wiped out many coastal communities. This disaster highlighted the extreme vulnerability of low-lying coastal regions to cyclonic storms and led to the development of improved cyclone preparedness programs, including better early warning systems and the construction of cyclone shelters. 2012 Hurricane Sandy, USA. Hurricane Sandy, often referred to as Superstorm Sandy, affected the Caribbean, the Bahamas, the United States, and Canada in late October 2012. It was especially catastrophic for New York and New Jersey, causing widespread flooding, power outages, and infrastructure damage. Sandy led to at least 233 deaths across 8 countries and highlighted the challenges of dealing with large-scale natural disasters in densely populated urban areas. The storm emphasized the need for robust disaster planning and resilience in urban planning, particularly concerning climate change and rising sea levels. 2017 Central Mexico Earthquake. On September 19, 2017, exactly 32 years after the devastating 1985 Mexico City earthquake, central Mexico was struck by another powerful quake, this one measuring 7.1 in magnitude. The earthquake caused significant destruction in Puebla, Morelos, and Mexico City, leading to over 350 deaths and collapsing hundreds of buildings. This disaster prompted a renewed focus on strengthening earthquake preparedness and response strategies, as well as updating building codes to improve the resilience of structures in earthquake-prone areas. 2003 European heat wave. The 2003 European heat wave was one of the hottest summers recorded in Europe, leading to a severe health crisis across the continent, particularly in France. The heat wave resulted in over 70,000 deaths across Europe, with elderly populations being the most affected due to heat-related complications. This event dramatically highlighted the risks posed by extreme weather conditions and led to significant changes in public health policies, including heatwave response plans and better public awareness campaigns about the dangers of heat waves. 2010 Haiti Earthquake. On January 12, 2010, Haiti was struck by a devastating earthquake with a magnitude of 7.0, causing massive destruction in and around the capital city, Port-au-Prince. The death toll was staggering, with estimates ranging from 100,000 to over 300,000 people. The earthquake also displaced millions and caused extensive damage to Haiti's infrastructure, including vital healthcare facilities, schools, and homes. The international response was significant, yet the recovery has been slow, highlighting challenges in disaster response, governmental instability, and the need for sustainable development in disaster-prone regions. 2009 Black Saturday Bushfires, Australia. In February 2009, the state of Victoria in Australia experienced one of the worst bushfire disasters in its history. The fires, known as the Black Saturday Bushfires, were fueled by extreme weather conditions and resulted in the deaths of 173 people. Over 2,000 homes were destroyed, and numerous towns were devastated. The disaster led to a comprehensive review of bushfire policies and practices in Australia, resulting in improved safety standards, better emergency management protocols, and increased public awareness initiatives on bushfire preparedness and response. 2019 to 2020 Australian bushfire season. The 2019 to 2020 bushfire season, often referred to as Black Summer, was unprecedented in its scale and intensity, affecting large parts of Australia. The fires resulted in the deaths of at least 33 people, destroyed over 3,000 homes, and led to significant ecological and environmental damage, including the loss of an estimated 1 billion animals. The fires spurred global discussions on climate change, its impact on natural disasters, and the need for aggressive climate action to prevent similar future catastrophes. 1997 Southeast Asian Haze. The 1997 Southeast Asian haze was a large-scale air quality disaster caused by forest fires in Indonesia, exacerbated by slash-and-burn practices for land clearing. The haze severely affected several countries in Southeast Asia, causing widespread health problems and economic disruptions. This event emphasized the regional and global impacts of land use practices and led to cooperative efforts among Southeast Asian nations to manage forest fires and improve air quality monitoring and response strategies. 2011 Tōhoku Earthquake and Tsunami, Japan. On March 11, 2011, Japan experienced one of the most severe natural disasters in its history, the Tōhoku earthquake. This magnitude 9.0 earthquake, one of the strongest ever recorded, triggered a massive tsunami that devastated the northeastern coast of Japan. It caused the deaths of over 15,000 people and led to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. The events prompted a global revaluation of nuclear safety, particularly in seismic zones, and led to significant changes in Japan's disaster preparedness and energy policies, shifting focus towards more renewable sources and enhancing tsunami defense systems.